broadcasting live for Dallas and Fort Worth. This is Fox 4 News at 9.
We want the death penalty if they've hurt her, and we're going all the way for it. And we'll be in that courtroom every day until we get it, so they can take that to the bank.
A mother's angry words after the suspects in her daughter's killing are found at the Mexican border. Hours later, her daughter would turn up dead. Good evening. After 2 weeks of searching, police found Amy Robinson this afternoon.
Her body had been dumped in a secluded area in northeast Fort Worth, just off Mosier Valley Road. U.S. Customs agents arrested the two men accused of killing her in Eagle Pass as they tried to cross into Mexico. We have two reports tonight. Fox 4's Razzuk is at the Arlington Police Department, and Shaun Rabb is live at the Kroger store where Amy worked. We begin tonight with Razzuk. Marianne?
Well, Steve, Arlington police say they suspect Amy Robinson was killed shortly after her abduction more than 2 weeks ago while she rode her bike to work at an Arlington Kroger store. They won't say how she died until the medical examiner makes a positive ruling and identification. Like the family of Amy Robinson, Arlington police held out hope this would not be the way they would find the 19-year-old girl.
The victim appears to be fully clothed, appears to be wearing the exact clothing that was described to us that Amy Robinson was wearing at the point she was reported missing. The green bicycle, which was also described as her bicycle, is about 20-25 yards away from her.
Police found the scene through detailed instructions mapped out by two young men arrested for the alleged kidnapping and murder.
The suspects agreed to tell them where the victim was located in order for us to find her. And we ended up actually faxing a MapScope page down there as they tried to describe to us where she was.
Police say 23-year-old Robert Neville, a former boyfriend of the victim, and 18-year-old Michael Hall were arrested in Eagle Pass, Texas, as they tried to cross the border into Mexico. Customs officials say the men appeared nervous when they were questioned, and an identification check brought to their attention the capital murder warrants.
Both Neville and Hall were non-resistant. They didn't put up any kind of a fight. They did act nervous and perhaps a little scared, but they didn't resist at all.
Authorities say while the suspects are talking, a possible motive remains unclear.
I don't know that we'll ever know why this actually happened. I mean, this is a person who meant no harm to anyone. This is a person who had no valuables to take. This is a person that was friendly and outgoing and was certainly not a threat to anyone. So, you know, what possible motive could there be to harm someone like this?
Now, both of the suspects worked with Amy Robinson at the Kroger store a short while back. Robert Neville did have a previous conviction for burglary. Now, both suspects are still in South Texas, but Arlington police detectives are there tonight and expect to transfer both of the young men back to the Tarrant County Jail in the morning. Reporting live in Arlington, Razzuk, Fox 4 News.
Okay, Marianne, thank you there at police headquarters. We're going to turn now to Shaun Rabb live at the Kroger store where Amy Robinson was actually headed when she disappeared that day. Shaun?
That's right, Steve. In fact, this has been ground zero for the last 16 days in the search for Amy Robinson. From here, where flyers were passed out to cars and folks who live in this community, here is where the police also began their investigation. Tonight, Amy Robinson's family comes to deal with the stark realization that their Amy is gone. Their special Amy is gone.
There's good and there's bad. The good thing is we got the ones that killed her. I'm sorry for their parents. And we got Amy. It's not the way we wanted her, but at least we know she has not been suffering, and we know she's in heaven. And she's with us right now. She's with every one of us.
19-year-old Amy Robinson's family gathers in central Arlington to begin the challenging chore of planning a funeral for their Amy.
We will lay her to rest, and we will pray that God takes care of these guys that did this to her. Because if they don't, I promise you we will. I'm sorry for their families. I pray for them. But God, please, I beg of him, make them pay for what they did to our daughter.
The anxiety and hope of the last 16 days replaced with anger and hurt. Their daughter abducted, murdered, then dumped in a field by two men she knew. 23-year-old Robert Neville Jr. and 18-year-old Michael Hall.
You know, one thing about the state of Texas, they still believe in, I don't know a whole lot about the Bible, but I think if you look in there somewhere it says an eye for an eye. I was born and raised in Texas, and I believe in God, and I believe that's what we're going to do.
And I'm going to miss coming home from work and not having her there to say hi to him. I'm going to really miss her so much.
Yes. Amy's in heaven. Everybody, Amy's in heaven.
We know.
We know she is.
Tonight, family members are being comforted near their home. They're not at their home, but near their home, being comforted by friends, other family coming here into Arlington. And in fact, the 80 employees at this Kroger store who call themselves Amy's family, going to visit the family, taking them food, spending some time with them, sharing a word and sharing a prayer as they come to grips with violence that's claimed the life of Amy Robinson. That's the story tonight in Arlington. Shaun, Rabb, Fox 4 News.
Shaun, thank you. We will continue to follow this story. In other news, police in the East Dallas town of Sunnyvale want to know who murdered their former mayor. Sunday afternoon, 81-year-old Charles Mayhew Sr. was found shot to death in his bed. And authorities say he died of a shotgun blast to the neck. The Dallas Sheriff's Department says 4 veteran investigators are following leads in the case. So far, they say no one has been ruled out as a suspect. This afternoon, police released a 911 tape. Mayhew's son, Charles Jr., made the call.
911 emergency.
Yes, I need a sheriff immediately, please.
What's the problem, sir?
My father's been murdered.
Okay. At 540 Nance Road?
Yes, it's in the Nance Road.
Okay, and you're there now. What's your name?
My name's Charles Milton Mayhew Jr.
Okay, let me get the ambulance on the line with us, okay?
There ain't no reason for an ambulance, darling.
Sir, that is our procedure. That's our procedure.
Well, just do whatever you need to do.
Okay, sir, we'll get him.
Mayhew served as the mayor of Sunnyvale in the early 70s. He was considered a well-liked landowner and developer.
A follow-up story tonight to a Fox 4 I-Team investigation. A Dallas man accused of stalking his former girlfriend has now been indicted by a grand jury on charges he broke into that woman's home. It's his second indictment on a burglary charge. Vincent Sanders was also ordered to wear an electronic monitoring device while he is free on bond. Last week, we introduced you to Sanders and his former girlfriend. She says she's frustrated with the legal system and is afraid Sanders will hurt her. Later on this week, a judge will hear a request from the district attorney's office to hold Sanders without bond. Sanders told Fox 4 News last week he's the one being stalked right now, and he denied the burglary charges. Dallas police are facing another lawsuit in the death of 17-year-old Dolores Gallegos. She died when a police cruiser slammed into her car last month. Her family is already suing the department. Now the man who says he was the victim's husband says he plans to file a lawsuit as well. Vincent Laredo was Gallegos' 17-year-old boyfriend, but his attorney says the two were actually married. The courts will now have to decide if the couple was, in fact, involved in a common law marriage.
She faces 15 months in a federal prison, yet Yvonne Gonzalez showed up early to start serving that sentence. The former Dallas school superintendent reported to the federal prison camp in Bryan this afternoon, one day before she was supposed to. No reason was given. Gonzalez pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges. She also faces 2 years probation and a $16,000 fine. An enormous factory fire sent people packing from a 3-block area of Decatur early this afternoon. A candle factory called Inside Trimmings, etc., caught fire with 70 people inside it. Everyone made it out okay, but one firefighter had to be treated for heat exhaustion. There's no word yet on what caused the fire.
Well, you can pay him now or pay him later, but paying the Dallas North Tollway later could really cost you. A crackdown on Tollway toll cheaters is underway right now. If you run a toll, expect to receive a $10 fine in the mail, and if you don't pay that within 35 days, the Department of Public Safety could then pick up the case. You could end up paying $250 every time you go in for a court appearance. How do they track you down? Well, it's through your license plate number. There are cameras at some toll stations, plus toll attendants can write down your license plate number. Fox 4 goes undercover to try to catch a double-crossing diamond dealer. Becky Oliver investigates this Dallas man with a checkered past.
President Clinton wants tougher drunk driving standards, and that means Texas, too. And there's no choice in the matter.
Vernon Jordan finally testifies before the grand jury. So is he distancing himself now from his good friend, the president?
I'm meteorologist Tim Heller. Clear skies in North Texas right now, but that will change. The clouds in the southern part of the state are headed our way tonight. Across North Texas right now, 48 degrees in Fort Worth. It is 52 in Dallas. Your forewarned forecast is coming up.
If you wanted to blast away those age or sunspots and you're a little leery of the laser, take heart. I'm medical reporter John Hammarley. Coming up, the lunchtime facelift.
Enid's Audience Talent Showcase Finals. Just Shootney's Wendy Malick and Jermaine Dupri and DeBrat on the next Enid.
Tonight at 10:35 on Fox 4.
Were you and Mr. Hunter ever lovers? He raped me.
This trial will rip their lives apart.
We, the jury, find for the...
An all-new 90210. Then you'll find out.
What if those test results come back and they say that the cancer is still there?
Will Charlie live or die? Party of 5.
Wednesday, starting at 7 on Fox 4.
It has been said that all the gold and silver in the world isn't 1/10 as valuable as a single child's dreams. So we ask, if gold and silver travel in armored cars, how do we protect those dreams? Drive safely.
Nobody beats the Home Depot for guaranteed low prices. Nobody. So you can shop at Lowe's, but it'll cost you. Take this Home Right paint stick. At Home Depot, you can buy it for a whole $10 less. And Lowe's is trying to charge you $12.96 for Ortho Bug Be Gone Insect Killer when we've got the same thing for just $9.88. And remember, we'll smash any lower advertised price by 10%, guaranteed. The Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
I know you're in there, Miss Plum. I can smell your recently delivered pizzeria pizza. And while I'm appalled at your wicked little plan to lure me into your tawdry web with the promise of a deliciously topped pizza, Miss Plum, I am but a man, weakened by the siren's call of a well-risen crust.
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
She wants me.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
You are watching Fox 4 News with Steve Eager, Ashleigh Banfield, Tim Heller, and Mike Doocy.
Next to the president and Monica Lewinsky, Vernon Jordan plays the biggest role in the White House intern sex scandal, and today was his turn before the grand jury. Fox's Rick Leventhal is live in Washington tonight with the story. Rick?
Ashley, it's taken 6 weeks and 30 witnesses, but Kenneth Starr's grand jury investigation has now reached President Clinton's inner circle. Vernon Jordan, sometimes referred to as the first friend, has been close to Clinton for more than 20 years. Today, he testified, then he talked about it briefly to the press.
I answered all of their questions truthfully and completely to the best of my ability.
Vernon Jordan still isn't finished with his testimony, which some say could make or break the president. He arrived Tuesday morning to face the grand jury that's investigating whether President Clinton had an affair with former White House intern Monica Lewinsky and whether the president and/or Jordan asked her to lie about it. Both men have denied any wrongdoing.
At no time did I ever say, suggest, or intimate to her that she should lie.
Jordan has raised eyebrows because he helped Lewinsky find a lawyer and a job in New York late last year, around the time Lewinsky was subpoenaed in the Paula Jones case. Special prosecutor Kenneth Starr is trying to determine if Jordan pulled strings for Lewinsky to keep her quiet about the alleged affair. Jordan, a well-connected Washington lawyer, is considered one of the president's closest confidants.
He's not an official member of the president's staff or the cabinet, but there is such a thing as the kitchen cabinet dating back to the days of Andrew Jackson, and if there is such a thing, Vernon is in it.
And Jordan emphatically denies rumors the Lewinsky mess has weakened his bond with the president.
Ours is an enduring friendship. An enduring friendship based on mutual respect, trust, and admiration.
Jordan says that was true yesterday, it's true today, and it will be true tomorrow. The grand jury actually has the day off tomorrow, but Jordan will be back Thursday to resume and possibly finish his testimony. In Washington, Rick Leventhal, Fox 4 News.
President Clinton wants to toughen U.S. drunk driving laws, and he's asking Congress to support a bill requiring states to lower the level of alcohol you can have in your blood and drive legally to the level of .08. But the beverage industry says changing the legal limit won't stop the problem.
If you want to do something, you're going to have to look at people who cause the drunk driving accidents and recognize that we have an alcoholism problem, with traffic safety being simply a symptom of alcoholism. And that means stopping people, doing something about them treatment-wise, and getting to the core of the problem, which is abusive drinking, not social drinking.
Now, right now, only 15 states have that .08 limit. Texas is not one of them. The limit here is .10. Tonight at 10, see just how many drinks it takes for the average woman and man to reach that limit of .08. Prosecutors once again going after British au pair Louise Woodward. They're headed to court this week fighting her reduced sentence. Woodward was convicted of second-degree murder for shaking to death 8-month-old Matthew Eapen. But you remember the judge reduced that conviction to manslaughter and time served. Prosecutors say there was a legal mistake in that change and want it thrown out. Defense attorneys say the sentence should stand.
Driving has become quite a hazard in Brazil, and again the culprit, El Nino. Flooding has devastated the area, making waterfalls where they should not be. Like in California, mudslides are also forcing people from their homes and making backhoes work double time. 2,500 people are homeless. Rivers are so swollen, makeshift bridges have had to be built. A minor snag on board the Russian space station Mir caused 3 wrenches to snap and a few tempers to do the same. The cosmonauts were scheduled for a spacewalk, but the hatch wouldn't open. One of the locks was closed too tightly. They were supposed to repair a damaged solar panel, but the mission will have to be rescheduled.
Okay, here's one I know you're going to like. A would-be bank robber in New York got foiled by his own bad handwriting. A man with a plastic mask walked into a bank in Pearl River, New York, and handed the teller a note. Well, she couldn't make out exactly what it said, so she consulted another teller. Well, the second teller had trouble as well. By the time they actually realized it said, "I've got a gun," the man had already walked out of the building and given up.
Ahead on Fox 4 News, who is this masked man? We'll see why plenty of magicians want to get their hands on him. You can get a facelift during your lunch hour and go right back to work. John Hammarley shows us this magic treatment.
The beauty of the internet is its openness.
Bill Gates goes to Capitol Hill and some lawmakers go on the offensive. And Fox 4 goes on the hunt for a diamond dealer who double-crossed his customers. That story straight ahead.
Tomorrow on I Challenge Allen, the amazing Ellen Bourne takes on Civil War musketeers. Will he pack a pistol faster, or will it all blow up in his face? Tomorrow on I Challenge Allen.
Germany, a country about twice the size of Wisconsin. Remarkably, it produces 3 of the world's finest automobiles. One of them is the new 200 horsepower 30-valve A6 from Audi. It fits quite nicely between the other 2, the A4 and the A8, also from Audi.
She was your permanent playmate. She was a partner in crime. She was your beauty consultant. She was a sympathetic ear. And today she's just a phone call away. That's why MCI offers 5-cent Sundays. 5 cents a minute of every Sunday, along with low rates all week long. Call 1-800-SUNDAYS to become an MCI customer.
The sky across North Texas was mostly sunny for most of the day, and the temperatures today ended up around 60 degrees for the high, up from 33 degrees early this morning, near freezing up along the river in some communities around north central Texas. It looks like we won't be as cold tonight and warmer still tomorrow, but with rain. Your forewarned forecast is coming up.
Trucks, cars, imports, you name it. The deluxe lube and oil service from Walmart's Tire and Lube Express, with pins or our Quaker Steak, at a great low price every day. We have Goodyears, BF Goodrich, we even have Michelin, all at everyday low prices. It's all here at Walmart, plus a few things you won't find anywhere else.
I did my shopping, I was ready to go, and so was my car.
Hey, bring whatever you drive to Walmart's Tire and Lube Express. We'll take care of your car while you take care of the rest.
Definitely make sure that you've got the sunroof shut. There's 1,875 gallons of water, there's 62 jets. I'm looking to make sure that the robotic seam is good and thick, no water leaks. It helps to be a human pretzel the way we crawl around the car. Well, a little bit of this and a little backward. Looks like this one's good to go. Well, sometimes if I've still got a minute or two left, I'll just lay the seat back like this, just kind of sit here and daydream a little bit.
You are watching Fox 4 News.
Sandblasting skin. That sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? But in the new technology you're about to see, it really isn't. It's a new type of skin rejuvenation. It has some pretty big advantages. First, no recovery time, no anesthesia, no pre-op downtime, and medical reporter John Hammarley says it also does not require a barrel full of cash to pay for it.
For Mary Bonal, her business day is pretty much an open and shut case. The 41-year-old sales rep and mother of two doesn't have much time on her hands to waste. But in her lazier college days, Mary admits to her share of sun worshiping.
I used to sit on the top floor of the dormitory when I went to college, and we used to put the baby oil on and just bake and bake.
But she has shied away from facelifts or laser lifts, not so much because of their expense, but because of their recovery time.
Because of the downtime, and being that I'm out in sales, I'm kind of limited. So being that this is just kind of something I could do during the lunchtime, you know, it was something that I thought I might want to entertain.
And what I'm going to do is just kind of spread the skin a little bit, make it tight, and then gently rub over it.
Welcome to the instant, painless world of microabrasion.
We're talking about a very fine sandblasting of the skin, but it's not painful, it's easily controlled, and it allows us in multiple procedures at 7 to 10 day intervals to improve the color and texture of the skin.
You may notice some slight micro peeling, some very fine micro peeling.
Mary chose to have the skin on her sun-damaged chest first smoothed by the microabrasion process. But dermatologists say the machine is versatile enough to tackle everything from age spots on the backs of hands and necks to other stubborn cosmetic challenges.
For people who have a lot of acne problems, or say whiteheads, blackheads, and this sort of thing, it very, very gently cleans those pores out, leading to smaller pores very quickly.
It is not a procedure that will rival the traditional facelift for deep changes, but then again, it is not a procedure that cuts into your pocketbook as deeply either.
It's not lifting the face, and yes, it could be done any time of the day. The nifty thing is you can go back to work or play quickly, and you can wear your cosmetic for the face, that sort of thing, without any significant damage. It doesn't look like you've been put through the ringer.
Time to go back to work.
Now, how many of these treatments do you need before you're happy? Experts say usually between 3 and 8 treatments will do the trick, usually costing between $150 and $200 each. I'm John Hammarley, Fox 4 News.
Also in medical news, a new statewide program will help Texans living with HIV and AIDS to cope with the high cost of drug therapy. It'll use funds from the Texas Department of Health and the American AIDS Foundation to buy drugs for people who can't afford them. Drug therapies can cost a patient $9,000 to $15,000 every year. A simple walk in the park could reduce your risk of developing diabetes. A study published in this week's Journal of the American Medical Association says leisure as well as vigorous exercise can lower your chance of developing diabetes. People with diabetes also reduce the severity of their disease by increasing their activity. If kids lose their baby fat early on, they could wind up as overweight adults. That's according to a new study in this month's issue of Pediatrics. Researchers found that kids who lost their baby fat before age 5 are more than twice as likely to be obese adults. Their findings held true regardless of whether parents were overweight.
He took their money, but this double-crossing diamond dealer has not delivered what he promised he would. Fox 4's Becky has an undercover I-team investigation coming up next. Also, you've heard of putting your kids in car seats. Well, what about your pets? And America's richest man goes to Washington. Does his money talk? But before any of that, let's check in with Clarice for a look ahead to 10. Clarice?
Hi, Steve. The president wants stricter DWI standards. So if you're caught driving under the influence, what would be considered legally drunk? And how many drinks would it take to reach that point? We'll sort it out at the top of the hour. And things are really moving at DFW Airport. We're talking terminal changes. Who goes where at 10 o'clock?
In business, nothing should come between you and success. So Samsonite developed the new Easy Big Wheel with huge 6-inch wheels to go over and around practically any obstacle. Business travel is hard. Samsonite makes it easy.
When you've got a stampede on your hands, you either run, ride, or get ready to buy. It's truck month, and you can save on a Ford Ranger with low 2.9% financing or $1,000 cash back. Ranger has a rugged new look, more power, more regular cab room, and an airbag deactivation switch. So if you want more from a compact pickup, get the one that outsells every other domestic compact pickup combined, Ford Ranger. And get to your Texas Ford dealer now.
You sign a lot of autographs?
Oh, yeah, you?
Some. They asked me to bend stuff a lot.
I can see that. What?
It's Lois. She's in trouble.
Did you look through that building?
Well, kind of. It's glass. Lois!
Superman, I've forgotten my wallet.
I can't carry money in this. I'm powerless.
I'm not.
My hero.
You can do more with the American Express card. Could you? For my kid.
I just learned some scary things from my vet. He said heartworms could kill Trevor. Just 2 fleas can cause an infestation. Intestinal worms can cause painful stomach aches. Then he gave me something to protect Trevor. Sentinel.
Just 1 Sentinel tablet a month protects against heartworms, fleas, and 3 intestinal worms. Dogs should be tested for heartworm before using Sentinel, the only product that protects against all these parasites.
Ask your veterinarian.
Sentinel means protection.
Introducing the carry-on combo from Samsonite. It's one carry-on that goes both overhead and under the seat. Business travel is hard. Samsonite makes it easy.
You are watching Fox 4 News.
They thought it was a pretty sound investment, a safe way to make some extra money.
But some people say all they got were empty promises that left them instead with empty pockets. Tonight, I-Team reporter Becky Oliver has the story of a Dallas diamond dealer who turned out to be a lump of coal. Becky.
Well, everyone is looking for a deal, but some of the people who've met diamond broker Brian Taylor say they are now dealing with far more than they bargained for. These customers say their experiences with Taylor turned out to be a diamond double cross.
Right. Brian Taylor seems to be the only one laughing these days. Just ask his former customers. This Dallas diamond broker has left a trail of victims from New York to California who tell tales of deception, dirty dealings, and fraud.
I mean, they did a fantastic job shining it up, and you know, it looked like a nice shiny diamond. And
Gary Mayer says he thought he was getting a great deal when he bought a $3,000 engagement ring. What he got, he says, was a fake, a cubic zirconia. He's not alone.
Excuse after excuse.
The Skeens thought they were investing in a lucrative diamond business. They lost more than $100,000, their life savings.
He's a master of stalling tactics.
You stall until people can't stand it.
Sue Skeen says what hurts most is that Taylor used her church to gain her trust.
We didn't realize he was just using that angle to get in and close to us.
And the Ehrmans say Taylor not only took their money, but their daughters. Together, they lost more than 10 grand.
To be a con man, I believe it's a gift because he knows just what to say at the right time.
Apparently, the right time and the right place. Taylor has found easy targets through the churches he attends, yet he's the first to admit he's no choir boy.
That's Jesus.
My Lord.
Is that right?
I noticed you had the cross on. That's why
Are you a good Christian guy?
I'm not good, but...
We first met Taylor on a December morning. We answered his newspaper ad promising diamonds far, far, far below retail. Taylor told us he could sell us a diamond ring for $1,500 that could easily resell for twice that. His ad promises references, but when we asked for them, he couldn't provide them.
The trouble when you're in a high-volume business like this, people don't want other people to know that they've got diamonds and stuff because of theft.
To put customers at ease, one of Taylor's selling points is a full money-back guarantee.
If you're not satisfied, you don't pay us, that's all. You got $20 into us right now.
Sounds like a great deal until you start digging into Taylor's checkered past. His business is called A Diamond is Forever, but apparently he's forever changing the name. According to court records, he has also done business as ADIF, Awesome Diamonds, and Taylor Travel. The Better Business Bureau says his rating for A Diamond is Forever is unsatisfactory. And look at this. Taylor is a convicted felon. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison in 1987 for securities fraud and theft for stealing from his customers. And that was his second conviction. He was also sentenced to prison in 1973 for securities fraud.
In 1993, Taylor filed for bankruptcy. He listed $1.6 million in debts. More than a dozen people had successfully sued him or had promissory notes, but couldn't collect a dime. Taylor wanted the court to erase or discharge his debt. It didn't happen.
This is millions of dollars that's missing. In order to get your discharge, you have to be truthful. You have to file pleadings that show all of your assets, all of your liabilities, and you have to explain what happened to all this money or these jewels or whatever.
And he didn't do that.
He couldn't explain it, and the things that he said were not credible.
When it looked like Taylor wasn't going to get out of debt, he withdrew his bankruptcy case, so the judgments are still out there. But Taylor's victims have learned quickly court judgments and promissory notes are meaningless.
Even if you can prove that he stole from you, you can prove that he's committed a crime, you can prove he owes you money, legally there's nothing you can do about it because the man's smart enough to make himself judgment-proof.
Gary Mayer filed a complaint with the Better Business Bureau, but Taylor denied selling him a phony gem, saying someone else must have switched the diamond. Mayer finally gave up. The scheme sued Taylor and won a $175,000 judgment, but have yet to see a penny. Meanwhile, we took Taylor up on his offer and purchased the $1,500 ring. He delivered. The appraiser we took it to told us it wasn't a bad deal, but certainly not the great deal he'd promised. And the diamond was cracked when it was set.
Among people who aren't terribly skilled, it's a relatively common event because they don't seem to learn from some of their mistakes.
We decided we wanted to take Taylor up on his money-back guarantee. Stay tuned to find out what happened when we handed over the ring and what Taylor had to say when we caught up with them a month later.
Hi, I'm a news reporter with Channel 4. My name's Becky Oliver. How you doing?
What about it? Hi.
And a couple of questions for you. Just want to talk to you a little bit about your diamond business. Do you mind answering a few questions? Now join us tonight on Fox 4 News at 10 for more on our deal with Taylor, plus find out what the DA's office has to say about Taylor's business. That's part 2 of Diamond Double Cross. Becky Oliver, Fox 4 News.
So why are magicians cursing the guy in the mask? He speaks out about revealing the world's top magic secrets tonight on Fox.
And critics say it is no secret how Bill Gates made Microsoft #1, but today he faced some of those critics on Capitol Hill.
Could be some rain around North Texas tomorrow. If you have any travel plans, stay tuned for the Travelcast because there's rain all across the country. Details coming up.
Were you and Mr. Hunter ever lovers?
He raped me.
This trial will rip their lives apart.
We, the jury, find for the...
All new 90210, Wednesday on Fox.
I wanted to die.
Redux was your savior.
I was treated like a freak.
Fen changed your life.
I will not be fat again. I will kill myself first.
Then the feds pulled them, and your weight gain terror has begun again.
You feel like there's no way out.
Watch John Hammerley's Diet Desperation. There is new hope. Tomorrow, starting at 9 on Fox 4 News.
Here's a scalding hot cup of tea, Grandma.
Thank you, Thomas.
The M-Class performs like a Mercedes, no matter where it goes.
This is Frank Doocy, later on Fox 4 Sports. A wild battle for SMU in round 1 of the WAC tournament. We'll have the highlights. And Casey Martin visits Texas. You'll hear from the golfer who's in the middle of a major sports controversy. That's later on Fox.
As you may recall, our visitor from the future is frantically trying to retrieve his phone because Earth isn't ready for such advanced technology.
With all of the great features already included, you can afford to use PrimeCo every day. And right now, choose from one of 5 new everyday low-rate plans, like 100 minutes of virtually crystal-clear digital PCS for only $29.99 a month. Before long, everyone on the planet will own a PrimeCo phone.
Call 1-800-PrimeCo.
Conservative Republican Barry Williamson. As Railroad Commissioner, Barry Williamson decided 4,000 cases, cut the staff 16%, and cut the budget 10%.
As a judge, Cornyn took hundreds of thousands of dollars from people with cases before his court, even taking personal injury trial lawyer money. Hawken has consistently opposed Governor Bush and lost 2 elections to Democrat Jim Maddox.
Conservative Barry Williamson, an experienced leader for Attorney General who will work with Governor Bush.
You are watching Fox 4 News.
Hi, Clarice Tinsley with a look ahead to Fox 4 News at 10. Our live coverage from Arlington continues, where the family of a missing young woman is now in mourning, and 2 young men are charged with her murder. A judge decides whether to let Jasmine DeBoingu out of jail. An update on the former topless dancer once caught with drugs and Cowboy star Michael Irvin. Come see us at 10.
Your testimony is that Microsoft, with more than 90% of the market for personal computer operating systems, does not have a monopoly in the market, and that the established rules do not, that apply to monopolies do not apply to Microsoft.
Senator, I'm here to tell you what Microsoft does to serve its customers. And
Microsoft, a monopoly? Bill Gates gets grilled in Washington today.
The world's richest man was defending himself against charges that he is out to crush his computer rivals.
Now, critics say Bill Gates is the equivalent of a robber baron, but he says anyone who has a great computer product can do well in this market. Fox's Lisa Castleman has the story.
the software industry's success has not been driven by government regulation, but by freedom and the basic human desire to learn, to innovate, and to excel.
With the Senate hearing room jam-packed, full of press and curious spectators, Microsoft Chairman and CEO Bill Gates defended his company's aggressive moves to penetrate the Internet browser market by insisting that computer makers that install his Windows operating system install his Internet Explorer as well. Mr. Gates calls it smart business. His competitors, like Sun Microsystems CEO Scott McNealy, call it monopoly and market manipulation.
Microsoft has the power today to exercise predatory and exclusionary control over the very means by which we access this Internet.
Netscape CEO Jim Barksdale, who's seen his company's market share cut in half by Microsoft's rapid rise in the Internet browser market, asked for a show of hands of PC users to illustrate the strength of Microsoft's market prowess.
Of that group who use PCs, how many of you use a PC without Microsoft's operating system? Gentlemen, that's a monopoly. That's a lock. That's 100%.
Dell Computers CEO Michael Dell had only praise for Gates and how his software has set the industry standard. But committee chairman Orrin Hatch wanted to know why Dell doesn't install Netscape software in any of its products.
Does this have anything to do with your Microsoft license or with maintaining a favorable relationship with Microsoft?
Mr. Chairman, we have never entered into agreements that have bound us to exclude other vendors, and nor will we.
Still, Gates and his giant software company wield a lot of clout. And as the Department of Justice continues its investigation of Microsoft, the company will remain under scrutiny for quite a long time. Lisa Castleman, Fox News.
More business news now. The Dow does it again, hitting another record high for the 5th straight day. The Dow sailed 34 points above its close yesterday. It closed today at 85.84. The late-day rally happened despite a surge in interest rates. But the NASDAQ, the bond market, and the 30-year Treasury all finished down for the day.
Ever wonder if people are telling you the truth? Well, wonder no more. There's a new CD-ROM lie detector on the market that claims it can tell if someone's lying. It's called Truster, and it even put the president to the test. It works by analyzing voice patterns and checking for signs of stress. Its maker says it's 85% accurate, and it costs $150. And, by the way, as for Clinton's alleged affair with Monica Lewinsky, Truster says, for the most part, the president is telling the truth, but the results indicate he feels guilty about some things he knows are not accurate. Do you want to make your long drives safer and more comfortable for you and your pet? Might as well let the pet cruise in comfort in the Comfort Ride. It's a pet seat that, in conjunction with a harness, straps in small dogs or cats. There's less chance for them to distract you, and they also won't get tossed around if the ride gets a little bumpy. It costs $50.
Still ahead on Fox 4 News, former Cowboy coach Jimmy Johnson lures away the Cowboys' leading tackler. We'll have the details later on in sports.
Plus, a local teacher whose unique way of getting through to his students would make any youngman proud.
And this guy is not going to be invited to perform at any birthday parties if the Magicians Union has anything to say about it. The secret behind the Secrets Revealed show coming up. First, though, those magic numbers from Wall Street today.
Fox 4 Weather is sponsored in part by Ford.
If you're looking for something big enough to take on the likes of Texas, then head on down to your Texas Ford dealer's truck month. You can get 4.9% financing for 48 months on all Ford Explorers, the best-selling sport utility since its introduction. You can also get a great truck month deal on a Ford Expedition, the #1 selling full-size Ford utility that's big enough for 9, yet trim enough to fit in the garage. Hurry to your Texas Ford dealer, because when the dust clears, it's all over.
Announcing Luby's new Seafarers Special. Nature's finest whitefish harvested from the coastal waters of Iceland. Sautéed, blackened, or pan-grilled, especially for you at Luby's. And now, for a limited time, Luby's is featuring a fish fillet served with pasta or rice, plus your choice of fresh vegetable, homemade bread and beverage for just $6.99. The Seafarers Special. With a different dish every day, it's always a delicious catch at Luby's.
$32 Obsession for Men purchase at Dillard's. With a spirited 190 horsepower engine, front side airbags, a leather-trimmed interior, and a 200-watt Bose CD audio system, the Infiniti i30 is living proof that a car doesn't have to cost the moon to deliver the world. For a limited time, lease an i30 for only $399 a month for 39 months with an initial payment of $1198. Infiniti. Own one and you'll understand.
The sky in north central Texas today was filled with sunshine, and eventually the temperatures warmed up. We made it up to 60 degrees today, a little bit lower than I expected us to be. That's mainly because we had some extra clouds that moved back across the area by mid-afternoon. South Texas was back in the low 70s again today, especially down the Rio Grande Valley. 70 degrees for the high today in Del Rio, 66 up in Amarillo. They ended up warmer than we did today. 56 degrees in Texarkana, 60 for the high today. And tonight we've cooled down, but you notice we've only dropped about 9 degrees. Persistent southerly winds will keep the temperatures a little bit higher than they were last night, but at the same time, those winds will bring back some clouds. Mostly clear out there for now, but that changes later on. 51 degrees for the current temperature with winds out of the south at 9, humidity at 52%. Here's my forecast. I do expect the clouds to be coming back to the area later on tonight. 48 degrees for your overnight low. Last night we were at 33. It's a pretty big difference here tonight. Tomorrow, there's a big difference for you. High of 70 degrees with sun and showers. Sun mainly west of the Metroplex. Showers mainly east of the Metroplex, and right here in Dallas and Fort Worth, we're going to kind of be in between, perhaps a little bit of both tomorrow. Another El Nino update. You know, for the past few days, we have been showing you the homes in California, and they have been teetering on the edge of disaster. Well, today, one of those homes slid over the edge. The sky's been dry for the past few days, but the El Nino-enhanced rains have already caused substantial damage all along the California coast. The homes that remain along this cliff in Pacifica, California, will have to be moved before they, too, also fall. And here's the bad news for California. They got another storm system headed their way this weekend. Tonight, as we turn the globe back around here, you're going to notice that we have plenty of clouds on the map, some off of the Pacific Northwest and some sitting over the Midwest. This is a big winter storm system, the same one that sat for several days over the Dakotas and dumped up to 100 inches of snow in Rapid City. Tonight, persistent snows are falling from parts of the Dakotas through Minnesota, the Great Lakes, and even as far south as Tennessee. Also a little bit of snow from this system out over the Rockies, and so far just rain, and that's mainly in South Texas with the little one coming our way. You can barely see it out there, but there are some clouds across north central Texas. We are clear here. Low clouds out to the east of us and a few more down to the west, which will be moving this way overnight tonight. Here's what the weather map looks like. Low pressure sitting out over the Rockies. That sliding southeastward will work with the moisture that's coming in from the south, and that will bring us some showers tomorrow. But watch very carefully here on the cloudcast. You'll notice that East Texas is really the only area covered up with the clouds. This is why I think the rain will mainly be in the eastern part of the state, but the sun out to the west. This moves east on Thursday, but look at all the clouds that are coming at us for Thursday. It looks like we'll still be cloudy on Thursday, and with this colder air mass coming our way, probably some cooler temperatures by then as well. If you have travel plans, here's what you can expect. L.A. looking sunny tomorrow, 64 degrees. More rain in Seattle. That'll move into Southern California by the weekend. Some snow in Denver and Chicago. Some rain up in New York City and New Orleans. Same system that brings us rain. And sunshine from Miami. If you're staying home, here's your 5-day planner for tomorrow. It does look like we'll probably have, again, the sun with the showers east, 70 degrees for the high. Perhaps a little bit of light rain for Thursday. Partly cloudy Friday. Chance of thunder showers Saturday. Sunday, partly cloudy. Is there a trend to the weather pattern of the next few days? No. It's typical spring-like weather. You get a few showers here and there, some warm days, some cool nights. Kind of a mix of temperatures there. Going to be all over the board from 60 to 70.
I'm ready for just a hot, I was going to say hot. Nobody's ready for hot. Oh, nice sunny warm trend here. Not hot.
I could use about 5 days of that.
Yeah,
you found a magic?
Oh, in fact, I used to be a magician.
Not anymore.
And then became a weatherman.
Used to be.
Well, a lot of people are talking about that Magic special, and if you caught the 2-hour special on Fox tonight, Magic's biggest secrets finally revealed. The illusions have likely been shattered. So why did the masked magician give away the tricks of the trade? Fox's Jane Wells reports.
It was the highest-rated special Fox ever aired. So good that Magic's biggest secrets finally revealed is back for an encore and a sequel. And in the new show, the masked magician reveals how Houdini escaped from a water torture cell.
I feel like he's kind of betraying the trust of the magicians.
Magicians across the country are sawing themselves in two over the special.
They're upset that someone is trying to divulge something that they spent years and years and years trying to put together for our audience.
A group of magicians in New York plan to hold a formal news conference demanding that Fox unmask its magician. But then they made the news conference disappear, fearing that it would call too much attention to tonight's show.
I believe that the art of magic is for everyone out there.
The masked magician believes that revealing secrets will actually increase interest in magic. He hopes to force magicians to come up with some new tricks by revealing the secrets of old ones.
The secret is in this little gap in the ring. As the magician conceals this portion, palm in his hand, and then in striking the ring, it is slipped into the ring, dropped in this position, and shown as one.
As for taking off his mask,
I will remove the mask if it serves the art of magic, but that is the only reason.
And if you think all the controversy will stop him, forget it. He's got more specials up his sleeve. In Los Angeles, Jane Wells, Fox 4 News.
You know, a pretty big purple dinosaur holds a lot of magic for kids. Oh, there's that song. All us parents, we know that song. Planet Hollywood in Dallas revolved around Barney the dinosaur today. He was there to induct a new piece of movie memorabilia, the overalls he wears in his upcoming movie, Barney's Great Adventure. The movie debuts on April the 3rd. This teacher plays his students like a fiddle.
And first in sports, the eyes of Texas and the nation are on Austin as Casey Martin is set to tee off.
While the SMU Mustangs try to keep from leaving Las Vegas after just one game, Mike Doocy's up next.
Could you tell which one of these cheerleaders has a severe curvature of the spine called scoliosis? Well, thanks to a revolutionary spinal implant system developed by Texas Scottish Rite Hospital for Children, neither can we. Texas Scottish Rite Hospital for Children. There's no place else quite like it.
We used to go out, you know.
Yeah. What happened?
Need a smile?
Hi, Domino's.
Introducing our new spicy Italian crust pizza with zesty Italian spices baked into the crust. Domino's, delivering 1 million smiles a day.
Oh, yeah. We still know how to party.
Now get a large spicy Italian pizza with your favorite toppings for just $9.99. New spicy Italian has herbs and spices blended right into the dough. Only at Domino's.
When you've got a stampede on your hands, you either run, ride, or get ready to buy. It's Truck Month, and you can save on a Ford Ranger with low 2.9% financing or $1,000 cash back. Ranger has a rugged new look, more power, more regular cab room, and an airbag deactivation switch. So if you want more from a compact pickup, get the one that outsells every other domestic compact pickup combined, Ford Ranger. And get to your Texas Ford dealer now.
Earl, what's today?
Sunday.
Well, what's that?
A FedEx truck.
Earl, what's FedEx doing making deliveries on Sunday?
You think we're the only ones working hard on Sunday?
Now FedEx delivers on Sunday because the world works 7 days a week.
Well, back to the grind.
Sunday delivery from FedEx.
Fox 4 Sports is sponsored in part by Federal Express.
Okay, finally, the secrets of sports unveiled.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of that. Hey, you know what? We got could be a big Texas flavor in the Las Vegas tournament, and you can tell.
Well, I don't want to give it away, but
yeah,
I think it will be a pretty interesting second-round matchup in the WAC tournament. For a second straight year, the SMU Mustangs battled Colorado State in the first round of the WAC tournament. A wild opener for the Ponies in Vegas this afternoon. Mike DeMent getting his team ready to play, and they were ready to play against Colorado State. Jay Perner with 23 points for SMU. Mustangs led by as many as 25, led by 19 at the half, but Colorado State came battling back. CSU gets within 1 late in the game, but SMU was able to hold off the charge. DeMent with some further instructions. Gerald Sasser goes to the board hard, tips it in. He had 20. SMU wins 76-71. SMU faces TCU in round 2 Thursday. NBA tonight, Mavs at Minnesota. Shaun Bradley was benched to begin the game tonight. He didn't start, but he responded with 5 blocks and 16 points off the bench. That's Eric Strickland on the runaway jam. Chris Anstey started in place of Bradley, a solid game with 12 points. Mavs win on the road, 110-99 at Minnesota. And high school tournament basketball tonight, region quarterfinals, Duncanville and Newman Smith. That's Greg Harrington of Newman Smith tying it late in the game. But Roosevelt Brown had 33 for Duncanville, and Duncanville gets the win, 64-63. Brock Marion makes it official today, signing a 3-year, $8.1 million contract to become a member of the Miami Dolphins. Marion becomes one of the game's highest paid free agents, or free safeties, I should say, and goes back to work for his old boss, Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy wanted to make his team a better team, and obviously I come in, I bring a lot to the table, and I can come help this football team, whether it be special teams, whether it be safety, whatever it may be.
Near Austin today, golfer Casey Martin prepares for his first competitive round since winning a controversial court case last month. Martin has a leg circulation problem that makes it difficult for him to walk. The court says he can use a cart to play pro golf, and he'll do that in a Nike Tour event coming up. Geraud Moncure with more tonight.
How we doing? Casey Martin's sincerity is indeed genuine.
Careful, everybody.
Sorry. His anticipation of how big his story has become could be described as naive.
It's a zoo. I don't know. I mean, I'm flattered. I'm grateful, considering where I was 4 or 5 months ago in my life. So it's flattering, and God's been very good to me just to have these experiences. But I have to admit, it's a bit overwhelming.
He is aware the pressure on the course now will be twice that.
I admit the world, I guess, is kind of watching to find out how I'm going to do with all this attention, find out, you know, if I'm any good, really. And yeah, it's new. It's a whole new experience. I mean, I'm dealing with the kind of media attention that really only the select players in the world face.
Speaking of the world's best, Martin isn't ready to go putt for putt just yet. He was given a tour exemption for this week's Doral Open in Florida, but turned it down.
I guess there's mixed feelings that way. I mean, I'm flattered. I'm so thankful that they'd consider having me and want me at their tournament. But in another sense, I know why I'm going to be there. It's because I'd be riding in a cart, and it's kind of making news. So it's kind of a mixed deal. And the reason I'm just not prepared to do that yet.
What Martin has rolled right along with are endorsements from Hartford Life, Nike, Ping, and Spalding.
Could have never anticipated receiving, you know, endorsements and this kind of stuff. I never would have dreamt it. But now that it's here, you know, I can't really turn it down.
If Casey had missed the cut in both tournaments and then received all these after winning the court case, then maybe there would be some more outward resentment towards those kinds of deals. But, you know, he won the first event of the year.
If he could do it again, it will undoubtedly lift all the weight from his shoulders. More weight his legs have ever held before. In Austin, Geraud Moncure, Fox 4 Sports.
Baseball in Florida. Look at John Wetland getting some exhibition work today against the Pirates. He struck out 2 in 1 inning of work. Rangers could not hold on in the game, though. The Pirates pound Texas 8-3 in Game 1. Rangers win the nightcap by a final of 2-1. The sun's looking kind of good in Florida.
Yeah, it is.
Might have to get down there later this month.
Check back on spring training.
I think we will, yeah.
All right, when it starts to rain here, get out of town. Finally, tonight, every teacher has his or her own way of reaching out to students, but you're about to meet one Dallas teacher who manages to mesmerize children by holding a concert right in the classroom. Here's tonight's Really Crilley.
When it comes to teaching, Chris Sorrell doesn't fiddle around. At least not in the traditional sense, because he does fiddle just about every chance he gets. This Dallas teacher has discovered that there's magic in music.
I know I've got them when they're, you know, tapping their feet and singing along, and I've got their attention. There's no doubt about it.
Now, Chris is Cajun, and on this day, he's teaching about Mardi Gras. He finds that when he involves the students in his music, it means so much more.
It makes me feel great. It makes me feel like I'm doing something worthwhile.
No, it may not be a conventional way to teach about history.
Somebody want to come up and wear some masks?
But anytime you can get this many students anxious to participate in a lesson, you must be doing something right.
The best teachers teach from the heart, and those who don't last long. Okay, hold it right there.
All of us have at least one teacher we'll never forget. And there's a good chance that for many of these students, that teacher will be Chris Sorrell, the one who wasn't afraid to fiddle with tradition and add a little Cajun spice. Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
Great. It's always the hands-on stuff that you remember.
I absolutely. See the faces on those kids, too? I think that speaks for itself.
They like school.
Let's check your weather early tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy for the ride into work. 48 degrees with maybe some showers popping up in the afternoon, and a high around 70 degrees tomorrow.
Oi,
yes.
I can't believe it. All right, thanks, Tim. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned.
Stick around for the 10 o'clock news coming right up.
Bye-bye.
Integrity is the foundation. Humanity is the stone. Compassion is the mortar. Strength is the steel. These are the values that build this company. These are the values behind the products we offer and the services we provide. For more than 150 years, these are the values that have made New York Life the company you keep.
The new Audi A4 2.8 has a race-bred 190 horsepower 30-valve V6 and the option of a Tiptronic gearbox, so you can cruise in automatic or shift for higher performance. Perfect for those back roads. Not to mention those quick getaways. Get ready for the ride of your life.